Hi, I'm back. So I went on a train wreck of an Uber ride today, right? I'm not gonna give too many details. Basically, like, we needed to get from point A to B, which was like, according to Uber, it was like a 5 minute drive or something. So we were like, okay, that'll be fine. And it starts off real dodgy. So basically, he does like a loop around like the place. A car park. That place is called a car park. And he tries to go like back at where he came in, but it was a one-way street. He was like, oh, okay, shit. So then he drove around again until he found like a way to get out. Yeah, he wasn't the one that figured out how to get out. My friend had to tell him where the exit was. At that point, we are like, oh, okay, uh, whatever. And he was, and we, like the rest of us, heard his GPS saying like, oh yeah, like go left then right. But this guy clearly wasn't listening to his GPS because he just completely ignored all of that. He was like, oh yeah, where do I go? Um, and so at this point, my phone was on like, I think, so I was on like 3G and it was on like the last 10% or so, I think. And I did have a battery charger with me, except this is really tragic as well. It was stuck in the door, so I couldn't charge my phone. And I was like, oh, this is going to ruin my cord. I'm never going to be able to charge my phone again. My portable charger had also run out of battery, so I couldn't have charged my phone. That's really sad, story aside. So this guy, we finally got out of like that part of it, and it was like, yeah, left and right. And then he was like, oh, and there was another roundabout. He was like, where do I go from here? And he was about to go like sort of through, it was like a park sort of area, but like a really sort of like big space style park area. So where he was about to go was sort of like deeper into it rather than the other way, which was where we were actually trying to get to like the train station. He'd pretty much every so often he'd be like, oh yeah, so like which direction do I go in? And the part that really pissed us off is like, because we're quite young, and he just kept asking us for directions as if we were meant to know. And me with my phone dying, I was like freaking out, like, oh my god, I'm going to run out of battery before I can leave this guy. I can leave him a dodgy review because it was just such a mess of an Uber ride. But yeah, so basically he kept going based on like our direction, and we were sort of like listening to his GPS thinking like, oh, surely he is actually listening to that. Which he definitely was not, because he went into one lane and then he sort of realized that was going in like the wrong direction, so then he reversed and he backed up and went to a different lane. And like even Uber was sort of saying like, you have to go sort of around in a loop before you get back to like a different area or something. Like I didn't get what it was saying. What he did is, after reversing and going to a different lane, then he went all the way around, and he was asking us, oh, like, do I go on the freeway or something? We were like, no, I don't, like, why the hell should we know? I don't really know. And at that point, my phone had died, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to be much help. So he drove sort of like all the way around, and then we were back at the point where he'd previously, like, switched lanes. And we were like, what the hell? He had like a 4.5-star rating or something like that as well, and we were like, that doesn't make much sense, considering he's asking like babies for directions. Yeah, so then he went all the way around, and it turns out he was meant to go on the freeway, but it was for like 2 seconds. He goes all the way around, and sort of got to where the station where we needed to go, and we were like, yeah, like, we said what the name of the station was. He was like, oh no, that's like, he said some other name for the station. We were like, okay, we were just there earlier today, and that's not at all what it was called, but you do you, boo. So this guy, he was a train wreck. So finally we got to the station after like twice, hell, maybe even 3 times as long as we should have been in the damn Uber, because we were just going in circles, and he just did not know what he was doing, and he was asking us for directions. Even though his GPS was on, he was telling us to pull up our GPS, and we were like, what about your GPS that's literally telling you what to do? Ugh. So then we finally get to the station, and he goes some really obscure way, and he goes like some kind of back alley, arse about way, but like, you know, it was pretty much like at the station, except we had no idea how the hell to get out of there. It was sort of like blocked off, and we were just sitting there like, okay, because we're really like, you know, chill, polite people. When we left, we like thanked him a few times, and like, I think he did apologize, but we were kind of just like, okay, bitch. So like we immediately, like, the second we left the vehicle, we were like, that dude is a mess. Uber should fire him. What is he doing? And of course, you know, driving for twice as long as you were meant to, that's gonna cost like what, close to twice as much. I'm gonna be really pissed if Uber charges me that much extra for, like, yeah. At this point, it might only be like a couple bucks, but still, like, no, bitch, I'm not having it. Yeah, so when we got to like this arse about way, sort of like we were at the station, but we didn't know how to actually get into the station because it was all like sort of blocked off. So we kind of just walked until we were like, oh, you know, that must be an opening. But there was like a bin, and then like around the bin there was like a gate, but it was for like authorized personnel. And we were like, oh, I mean, we could jump the fence, but we're not that dodgy, and I was wearing a skirt. So it was a bit like, oh, maybe not. But then luckily, pretty much just as we got there, a security dude, like, I think he was building or something, he came around and he was like, so like, what the hell are you doing here? And my friend was like, yeah, we had a shitty Uber driver, he didn't know what the hell he was doing, would you be able to open this gate and let us through? Please, like, we are lost and confused, and we just want to go home. Because at that point, we'd been walking around for like 6 hours, and we were just so tired and just not here for anything. And the guy was super chill. He was like, yeah, you know, whatever. So he opens the gate for us, and we were like, oh my god, thank you so much. You're a legend. I'll probably go on the receipt and like report him on or something. Try and get at least some of my money back. But, like, I'm not going to pursue it that hard, really. It was particularly bad for my friend who never used Uber before. It was like literally her first time. And she was like, oh wow, I've never used it before, but that does not seem like something that they'd want to happen for like such a successful service. It's like it just don't add up. Yeah, just watch out. Just make sure your Uber driver knows what they're doing. And that's the other thing, because it's sort of like automatic from Uber, so I feel like it's probably a bit harder to get your money back from it, as opposed to like a taxi where you can sort of complain and be like, dude, you took an ass about way to get here, so it's sort of not fair that you're charging me that much. But yeah, that's my dodgy Uber driver story. I hope you enjoyed it. See, that was the other thing. See, I don't know if he thought, like, because we were young, that he could get away with doing, like, you know, he could sort of exploit us because we wouldn't want to say anything. We just yeah, basically that's just, we would keep quiet about it, and that he could make a bit of extra money, even though it was, like, $5 extra or whatever. Like, obviously, like, I can't be sure, but I have a feeling that was probably part of it. He sort of saw that we were quite young, and even though, like, because you could literally, like, we heard his GPS, we pretty much were reading back the same info that his GPS was telling him. Because we heard it on the GPS. I don't know why he wasn't listening to his GPS, but he was pretty much just going by what we said. So that would have, not only would it have taken, like, you know, more distance, but more time. You know, just, like, going ass about just driving his ass nowhere. I mean, like, when he finally dropped us off, he was hell nice about it, but at the same time, we were kind of just, I don't know, he probably thought he was fooling us, but we were just not here for it. Like, I just figured out how to report him, so, like, oh my god. Like, yeah, I just figured out how to report him, so, like, it wasn't really reporting, it was kind of just, like, I just went on the Uber website under, like, the help, and was like, yeah, like, he got lost or whatever, and I got my fare adjusted, and apparently it'll be refunded in like a few days. So yeah, so moral of the story, if you do have a dodgy Uber driver, just like, you can go on the Uber website for help. Like in my case, you know, if they like get lost or they kind of keep like asking you for directions or whatever. Yeah, he also dropped stuff in a dodgy location, which I probably could have reported as well, but I'm just like, I'm not that picky. Like, we found a way. It wasn't that bad from that point of view, but the sort of like, just the route was a mess, and it just didn't work out, and we went in a circle, and it wasn't right. So that was the only part that I really like reported. But yeah, like, just don't just sit around and just take it, you know. Just let Uber know. Hit him up. You'll get a refund of like $5, but you know. My Uber driver was a mess. Fair to say we were not impressed. He did not even know where the hell he was supposed to go. $5, that's like 5 candy bars. So, hell yeah, I'm going to save all that money.